Hey everyone, it's Joel back with you, Geek Studios. As always, welcome back to the podcast. It is Wednesday, April 15th. Almost had the date wrong. 2026. This is your mini charge episode. I hope you got your coffee ready or your beverage of choice, because today we are talking about EV charging. If you haven't checked your feeds yet, stop what you're doing, put your car on autopilot. Actually, don't do that. Just keep your eyes on the road, but listen close or watch if you're streaming this on YouTube. Today is the day the EV charging landscape in North America kind of just shifted tectonic plates. We've been waiting for the big one from Ionna, and boy, did they deliver. We're talking about the official strategic partnership between Ionna, the charging supergroup founded by the 8 horsemen of the legacy automotive industry, and Circle K. Now, if you've been living under a rock, Ionna is the massive joint venture between BMW, GM, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes-Benz, Stellantis, and Toyota. It's basically the Avengers of automakers. And Circle K? Well, they're the global giant that's quietly been, and sometimes not so quietly, trying to figure out how to sell us electrons instead of 87 octane and beef jerky. Today's announcement isn't just a press release partnership, it's a 350 site rollout. It's a total takeover of existing infrastructure, and it's the birth of something Ionna has been calling rechargeries. Today, we're going to tear this apart. We're going to talk about why this is the death knell for those shady chargers in the back of dark parking lots. I've been to several of those. The technical specs of these 400 kilowatt monsters, and why Circle K might have just secured its spot as the king of the road trip for the next decade. Let's dive in. All right, so before we get started, we kind of have to understand why Circle K deal is so massive. We have to look back at why Ionna exists in the first place. Back in 2023 and 2024, the EV world was, let's just say, it was kind of a mess, wasn't it? You had Tesla, which was the gold standard, reliable, integrated, and everywhere. And then you had everyone else. If you didn't drive a Tesla, you were basically playing Russian roulette every time you pulled up to a public charger. Would it work? Would it give you 150 kilowatts or 15 kilowatts? Would the screen be smashed by a disgruntled passerby, or would just the entire site just be down? The automakers realized that they couldn't sell $70,000 EVs if people were terrified of leaving their driveway. So 8 competitors, literally companies that spend millions trying to beat each other in sales, decided to have a sit-down conversation. BMW and Mercedes-Benz at the same table as Toyota and GM. This is like the Red Sox and the Yankees deciding to build a stadium together. You just don't hear of it. But they had to. They realized that the charging anxiety was the single biggest hurdle to EV adoption. The goal they set was audacious: 30,000 high-power charging bays by 2030. But here was the problem Ionna faced. Where do you put them? You can't just drop a 400 kilowatt charger in a cornfield. You need tier 1 real estate. You need places where people already go. You need amenities. You need bathrooms that don't look like they're from the 70s horror movies. You need food. You need drinks. You need all of that. And that brings us to Circle K. Ionna isn't just building chargers. They're building an experience. They're looking at the Tesla Supercharging network and saying, that's cute, but what if the charger was actually at the place where you get your lunch, use a clean restroom, and feel safe at 2 a.m.? This partnership is the realization of that driver-first philosophy. Ionna has the tech and the backing of the people who actually make the cars. Circle K has the land, the lights, and the snacks. It's a match made in heaven, or at least in a very well-lit convenience store parking lot, not in one of those dark, shady parking lots. Now let's talk about Circle K for a second. With over 7,000 stores in the US, they are the definition of ubiquitous. For a long time, the big oil companies and convenience chains were seen as the enemies of the EV movement. But Circle K was different, even from the beginning. They started experimenting with charging in Europe years ago, especially in Norway, which is basically the future of EVs. They have like 90% adoption rate over there. They learned early on that an EV driver stays longer than a gas driver. A gas fill up takes 3 minutes. Fast charge may take 20. If you're a business owner, those 17 extra minutes are gold. That's a sandwich, that's a coffee, that's a browsing session through the weird gadgets in the fourth hour and the fourth aisle, or maybe to buy a t-shirt or a keychain. So what does this partnership actually look like? Let's get into the details. First, Ionna is taking over. They're not just putting a few stalls next to the gas pumps. They are assuming operation of Circle K's existing U.S. charging portfolio. Right now, that's about 85 sites, and they're going to get a glow up. They're going to be converted and upgraded to the Ionna standard. But the real meat is the 350 new sites. These are the Rechargeries at Circle K. Think about the name for a second, Rechargery. It sounds like a spa for your car, doesn't it? It moves the needle away from the utility feel of a gas station and towards a lifestyle destination. The strategy here, I think, is kind of brilliant. Circle K gets to future-proof their locations without having to be the one managing the complex software and hardware of a 400 kilowatt DC fast charger. Ionna gets premium high traffic locations without having to fight for zoning permits on empty lots. And for us, the drivers, the EV owners, it means reliability. Circle K locations are almost always open 24/7. They're well lit. They have staff on site. If you're a parent traveling with kids or a solo driver at night, the safety factor of a Circle K versus a dark corner of a mall parking lot is night and day. All right, now that you kind of have that background, let's get a little nerdy. If you're listening to this, you probably care about the numbers. The headline figure here is 400 kilowatt. To put that in perspective, a few years ago, we were excited about 150 kilowatt. Most Tesla V3 superchargers top out at 250 kilowatts. These Ionna stalls are designed to push the absolute limit of what current battery chemistry can handle here in the US. If you're driving a Porsche Taycan, a Lucid Air, or one of the newer 800-volt Hyundai or Kias, you're going to see charging speeds that feel like magic. We're talking 10 to 80% in the time it takes to go inside, grab a snack, use the restroom, and check your emails. And then there's the connector war. For the longest time, we had this split, CCS and NACS, which is the Tesla plug. It was kind of like Blu-ray versus HD DVD for people of my generation. For those of you younger, you can research Blu-ray and high-definition DVD. Well, Ionna is officially ending the debate by embracing both. Every Rechargery or Circle K is going to feature both NACS and CCS connectors. So this is huge. It means it doesn't matter what you drive. You can have a 2022 Chevy Bolt or a 2026 BMW i5. You just pull up and plug in. No adapters. No, oh wait, this stall was Tesla only. No nonsense. But the tech isn't just in the plug, it's in the reliability. Part of the Ionna mission is what they call Ionna Speed, rapid development, but they're also focusing on plug and charge. Because Ionna is owned by the automakers, the integration is deep. If you're in a GM Silverado EV or a Mercedes EQS, the car and the charger basically speak in the same language fluently. You plug in, it identifies your account, and it just starts. No fumbling with apps that won't load or RFID cards that won't scan. And because they're upgrading those 85 existing Circle K charging sites, we're going to see a massive jump in the quality of those older locations. Gone are the days of the broken screen and the out of order sign. Ionna is staking their reputation and the reputation of the 8 global brands on these chargers working every single time. And another thing I love about the Ionna stations, they have tap to pay right on their screen too. So a lot of these EV chargers that were installed years ago didn't have tap to pay. You had app. So if your car doesn't do plug-in charge, you can just tap it with your credit card like you do at a gas station, and you're good to go. But now we need to address the elephant in the room, and that's Tesla. Tesla's Supercharger network has been the undisputed heavyweight champion for a decade. They had the head start, they had the reliability, and they eventually opened up their networks to everyone else. But here's where Ionna and Circle K start to look like a real threat to that dominance. Tesla chargers are often islands, and I've experienced some of these crazy islands. You find them in the back of a hotel parking lot or near a Wawa, or in Mississippi, the back parking lot of a casino. So just weird locations. But they aren't always integrated into the full retail experience that Tesla owns. By partnering with Circle K, Ionna is placing its bets on the convenience store model. And honestly, I think it's the right bet. When people go on road trips, they have a routine. They need a bathroom break, they need a snack, they need a stretch. Circle K has perfected that routine over 70 years. Also, let's look at the math. Ionna wants 30,000 stalls. Tesla has a massive lead, but Ionna has the combined research and development budget of 8 of the world's largest legacy automaker companies. We're also seeing a shift in consumer behavior. We used to be happy just to find a charger. Now, we're getting picky. We want the charger with the canopy, which Ionna is promising at some of its locations. We want the charger that's near a clean bathroom where you don't have to walk inside a mall to have to use it. We want the charger that actually hits the advertised speed. If Ionna can deliver 400 kilowatts consistently at Circle K locations, the supercharger advantage starts to evaporate, especially since these Ionna rechargeries will be native to both CCS and NACS. So what's the timeline? When can we start seeing these? So according to the announcement today, the first rechargeries at Circle K will start serving customers by the end of this year, 2026. 2027 is where we're going to see the additional scale. This isn't a by 2035 pipe dream. This is happening now. If you're a Circle K regular, we have a bunch of Circle Ks here in Arkansas, you're going to start seeing construction crews very soon. They're targeting the high traffic spots. Think of those key exits on I-95, I-5, Interstate 40, Interstate 20 that connect major cities and go across the U.S. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to think about the bigger picture. The partnership between Ionna and Circle K represents the professionalism of EV charging. We are moving out of the early adopters phase where we were grateful for any electricity we could find and into the mainstream phase where charging is just part of life. It's as boring and reliable as buying a gallon of milk or filling your car up with a tank of gas. And honestly, boring is good. Reliability is the ultimate luxury. I'm excited to see the other networks respond. Does Electrify Network step up their maintenance and start, producing more EV charging locations? Does Tesla start building more of their gigadiners like they have in LA right now? Competition is great for us, the drivers. It drives prices down and quality up. But for today, the winner is clearly the person who wants to drive their EV across the country without ever worrying about where their next charge or their next snack is coming from. All right, that's your mini charge episode for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and consider becoming a paid member. It's just $5 a month, and you get early access to all of our content, and you get to support our channel. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio podcasts, tap that follow button and leave us a quick rating and comment. It really helps the show grow. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay charged and stay geeky.